even though God created Eve and God didn't make any kind of mistake with that, that relationship still, they divorced themselves in the moment where they need each other the most. They didn't support each other.
And that's because of free will.
And they had the free will to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So stop thinking that if God brings the right person, it'll just be perfect, smooth sailing. No, God can fashion them literally from your body and it can still not work because you have the free will to not be a tailor-made spouse to your spouse.
That's so true.
So that's what I want you to know. Look at the Adam and Eve story as cautionary tale of, yes, God gave my Adam, God gave my Eve, and you could jack it up just like they did if you want to,
You sure
because it ain't on God to make your marriage successful. If you put him in the center of this thing and make him the foundation, then it'll be successful. But it ain't on him to drop somebody in your lap that it's just a robot who is just going to make everything perfect for you. Y'all
When
gotta
you
work
see
on this.
relationships that seem perfect, like they have everything, they seem so loving, and then all of a sudden you hear devastating news that they're breaking up or they're divorced, we try to think, what happened? Something happened. Something was not perfect. Something was not right. And one thing that we recently came to grips in reality that we could fall into that at any given point if we drop the ball.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just a reality. So we can't allow ourselves to just coast on the fact that, oh, we get along right now and we're friends right now. But if we don't keep ourselves regulated, if we don't keep ourselves in the word, if we're not constantly keeping ourselves under the microscope of God's eye, then we could fall into that same category anytime.
You actually, microscope. You got to keep yourself under a microscope.
Yeah.
As Pastor Jimmy Evans, I watched a video from him recently when he was teaching about that. He said, you're not invincible.
Yeah.
You can't think that your marriage is impervious to attack.
Yeah.
You can fall just like anybody else.
Exactly.
I want you to look at anybody in the Bible, any Bible hero that you look up to. Just about every one of them has some place where they fell. Some place they had a weakness that tripped them up and either did destroy them or could have destroyed them before they got themselves back right. So you are not impervious. And one thing I kept telling myself was, there are many men of God, much greater than me, who have fallen when it came to marriage, whether because of infidelity or any number of things that's gotten to a divorce, whatever. And I said, I'm not better than them. So the only thing that I can do differently than them is pay attention closely to myself and to my role in this marriage and to this marriage.
And that's why it's so important that you do not judge people. When you see them fall in marriage for whatever the cause may be, you do not judge and point your fingers and put your mouth on them and say, whether they are men, whether they are a fivefold ministry gift or not, it could be your neighbor and they're divorcing.
Don't ever.
Don't put your mouth on them and judge them and think, well, he did this or she did that or something, whatever.
You don't know what's
going on. You don't know, because it could be any old thing. Like, seriously, people get divorced for the smallest things, and it takes time. It's not something that's happened overnight.
No.
It takes time. And what I've observed over the time, a lot of time it's just that one moment, that one thing that you let slide, and you thought that, oh, that's benign. It's nothing gonna happen. That was innocent. And you never attend to it. You never put it under the blood. You never expose it, so you leave it there, and that's the one thing the devil used as a seed, and then it begins to germinate and grow other things. So for us, we try our very best to be very vigilant about those little seeds, and anytime we're presented with a thought that's contrary to what we're trying to build in our relationship, we expose it.
Yep.
We talk about it, and
you have to fix it. I was thinking about that show we watched about Chernobyl. And that nuclear reactor, and how much work they put in monitoring that thing, but there was a defect in it, and because no one was aware of that defect, they abused how they were operating that thing. That's what I noticed. Sometimes you have a defect in your marriage that you'll ignore, a little crack, and you'll keep. It's like running a car that you don't put the oil in. It's like you keep running it. It's gonna be okay. I'll take care of it. You never do.
Like you hear that initial noise. Like why is it tingling? But you keep on driving.
You just ignore it because you're working. You got to do business. You got to get around. You need this car. You can't afford to take time to focus on it. You want to keep going. And then even though it was a small issue, eventually it destroys the entire vehicle, and then you can't drive it at all. It's just it's
and it
limit.
Could be
you can't do anything with it.
Later, it could be a long time to the point where you almost forget the initial sound you heard, that sound off, but because you just ignored it for so long, and then one day you're on the highway and then boom, your car blows up and you on the side of the road.
And it's over. And it's like, well, nothing you can do. And that's a divorce. It's like, it's a wreck. And
oh,
what do you
man,
do?
I just saw that in a vision. Like, when you don't attend to your car, you don't attend to it at all. So then one day you're on the highway, it blows not only the potential of destroying the car and you, but everybody else around you.
Yeah.
And that's what divorce does. That's what infidelity does. That's what things that break up a marriage does. It don't only just harm you, but it harms the people around you as well.
Well, God created the first institution, marriage, and it was meant to be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, to do it, to affect the entire world. Marriage is not just for you. Be very careful when you get into a marriage. It's designed to affect your community at least, and possibly the entire world. So a divorce will affect your community at least, your family, and possibly the entire world, depending on what your status is when it happens. So understand that marriage, I just want to be married. It's so good for me. I just want to be loved. It's a lot bigger than you. So be cautious if you're not ready for what it's doing, because God invented it for a purpose, to have an effect on people. And I don't think we always take that into account. So it's more than just about you. Some people put so much focus on their children, they don't attend to their marriage. Attend to your marriage first, because that will affect your children more than you trying to put all your attention on your children and ignore your marriage. Marriage is very fragile on its own. You have to put up borders and boundaries around it. And we're still talking about being a tailor-made for your spouse, because I'll use me for example. I had to evaluate the parts of my personalities, my defects, my faults, my faulty manufacturing, so to speak, based on the way I was raised, or the impact I had from peers, all these different factors that affect how you end up turning out by the time you reach adulthood. So I had to look at those defects in me and see how they were not compatible with the marriage we were building. And so then I had to decide to tackle them. And you couldn't always see them yourself. I could see them because I could evaluate myself in my mind. But a lot of times we lie to ourselves, or we'll ignore what's wrong with ourselves and focus on what's wrong with our spouse. But I had to decide I have to work on these things and not just put them to the side because I think it's not a big deal, or because I'm trying to protect myself or protect my feelings. You got to evaluate yourself, put yourself under the microscope, and handle your defects. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Did you know that we have channel memberships? Channel memberships are a great way for subscribers like you to support what we do with monthly payments that give you access to awesome perks. For example, if you sign up for Tier 1 Vision Bearer, you'll get a cool badge next to your name whenever you leave a comment beneath our videos. You also get access to custom emojis we made just for you, so people can know that you're one of our channel members. If you sign up for Tier 2 Vision Bearer Plus, you'll get a 20% discount on all of our merch, kind of like this hoodie that I'm wearing here and other things that you can find on our merch site, access to exclusive behind the scenes mini vlogs, and a members only chat with us right here on YouTube. The best part is, no matter which tier you choose, you'll get lifetime access to our premium content, like our 6-week course, Overcome the Spirit of Depression, or our long-form cinematic podcast, Death to Pornography. Only our channel members have unlimited access to these special productions. And to say thank you, we'll always give you shout outs by name in our live streams. Consider becoming a channel member today. Click the join button below for more information. Or if you're an iPhone user, click the link in our description. Thank you in advance, and we'll see you next time.